Excuse me. Just clearing my throat there. Welcome back to another stream, guys. Hope everyone is doing well. Not the smoothest start to the stream, but I hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Really does help out. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because you will be notified. Check out the Discord channel, link to that in the chat. Feel free to check it out for discount opportunities, discussing ideas with other traders, myself. If you are interested, be sure to check it out. Link is at the top of the chat. But I hope everyone had a good weekend, well rested, ready to go again in the markets. It's been a very, very, very interesting morning as of yet. A lot of movement across the board and pretty much all currencies is looking very, very interesting. What's up, Kolmicha? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Gift, welcome to the stream. Good morning, Manny. As always, good morning. Hope you are well. So yeah, we've had a pretty active morning. Again, any pairs you guys are looking at, feel free to let me know and drop it down in the chat, and we'll of course take a look. But there's been a lot of pairs I've been looking at over the weekend for today or this week, but we've seen some hectic moves, and I've kind of made some of the moves I'm looking for, particularly on the CHF pairs. Euro CHF was a pair I was really liking, but it's just had a massive sell-off and it's taken out the all-time lows, which is this low over here. So yeah, that's kind of put a bit of a twist to it, because the whole idea behind the shorts on Euro CHF was expecting price to come back to the low, possibly create some new ones, and there's a lot of momentum, so there's a good chance price will continue down. But now they've kind of seen that move, it's like, okay, what's next? So but pound CHF hasn't quite done that yet, so I'm liking pound CHF. Still room to the downside for this one. It's just that there's so much momentum in the market right now, which is good. Maybe a bit too much, but I like momentum rather than not seeing anything. But yeah, CHF pairs collapse, yen pairs collapse as well. And I think just basically anything to the downside looks good on those currency pairs. Some pullbacks, some shorts look good. What's up, SamFX? Good morning. Hope you're well. Pound USD, we'll take a look. Rick, good morning. Good morning. Hope you're well. Yes, I will go over. Now, I haven't gone over Euro USD yet, but I will take a look at it. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Indices looking like meme coins getting rug pulled. Yeah, I know. Bitcoin as well is doing its best impression as well. But yeah, across the board, we're seeing a lot of movement. I mean, dollar's pretty weak. I was off the back of NFP, and indices, yeah, dropping pretty hard. S&P tanking. Some unexpected moves, I must say. Unexpected moves. Anyway, I'll go through pound USD. So pound USD is just, again, it's a little bit awkward for me. It's like, what is pound USD trying to do here? I'm looking for more dollar weakness, so inherently that will be looking for more pound USD strength, or at least an up move. We still do sort of have this bullish structure at play. So the low, the high, the low, the high, the low, the high, and possibly a new low for a new high. So that structure is sort of still at play. And I wouldn't be too surprised if you do put a higher low in and price does push higher. However, as I said in my weekly analysis, I want price to do something similar to what Euro USD did, which was break out of this descending channel. And then I'll be looking at longs on the flip, retest somewhere, and then find some entries to take that higher. This would make a lot of sense to me, and the buys will actually be pretty promising at this point. Otherwise, it's just a little bit difficult. I mean, you can try and anticipate the swing low, here and try and buy at the low, but the risk is that this move isn't finished yet. We're still pushing lower, and potentially we aren't seeing upside. We might even reverse. So with pound, it's just very, very tricky right now. Like I said, I'm still kind of looking for this move here back to the high. because I'm still pretty bearish on USD. So Euro USD, I'm still expecting upside. I was going to say Aussie dollar, I'm expecting upside, but I'm not actually. I'm kind of bearish on Aussie dollar, but I think that's more to do with Aussie just being so weak rather than dollar being strong. Same with ends of the USD as well. Dollar CAD, I think we'll see some downside as well. Dollar CHF is already very bearish, and I think that will continue to fall. So I'm pretty bearish on the dollar. So pound USD, I think there's a good chance we see some upside, but the price action isn't quite there yet. So I would wait to see price kind of make that move, and then I'll see if I can follow it on some pullbacks. And then if all is well, there's a pretty nice target up at the high. Risk to reward is looking pretty good as well. So pound USD, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Euro USD did that very well. It just didn't have a good pullback. So you can see here, really nice descending channel. We broke out of that really impulsively. I said in my weekly analysis, looking for the retest of the high here, or the retest of this high. Just neither one happened. Price was just gapped opened a little bit, gapped to the upside a little bit, and then just pushed up this morning. So yeah, it's been a little bit awkward, I must say. But pound, I'm looking for the buys. I wouldn't buy it yet. Not looking great. But if we can break higher, then I will see what I can do with it. In terms of Euro USD, again, like I said, I was looking for price to come back and retest some of these areas this week before we take out the high, but price just went and did that anyway. However, we do have a bit more of a confident bullish move here on the daily chart now. We've got a push there, pull back, push there, pull back, another push there. So if this can kind of keep going a little bit further, maybe take out that high there as well, then I'll just be expecting Euro to keep this up all the way back to the high here, 1.11071. I'll be expecting price just to make its way back to that high. So I'll be looking for the next pullback after that, another correction, and another move back higher. So I think Euro USD is slowly making its way bullish, kind of like a big bull shape pattern. So we've gone from making lower lows to higher lows, and prices slowly accelerating to the upside. So I do think Euro can make a big move higher, especially if we're going to take out this high here. And then my job would just be looking for the next pullback after that, wherever it lands, and then taking it back to the high there. So yeah, Euro USD will be bullish on. Dollar, I'm pretty bearish on. If I quickly go over to the DXY, really nice drop to the downside. This was the area I was talking about last week as the next major target. We already did that today. So yeah, this low here will be the next major target after that. So yeah, I just want to see some pullbacks and ride it to the downside. This is a nice low. Should we get back there? There's also a brief area where we pause down the full hour. Could get back there as well. Just depends how big of a pullback we see. But we may see something like this continuation, or something a little bit bigger, and then the continuation. But that's what I'm looking for dollar. So Euro USD, I would expect the exact opposite of. Pullback at some point, maybe we test the high and then be on our way. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with Euro and pound. Where was I? Good morning. Boatumelo. Definitely saying that wrong. Good morning. Hope you're well. Anis, as always, hope you're well. Yeah, markets are bleeding 100%. It is a bloodbath at the moment. Use the JPY, yes, we'll take a look as well. Dollar Seat Chef, Richie will take a look. Good morning, FX Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Love Pre C Chef JPY. Yes, we'll take a look. No way, you took a sell this morning. You're yeah, and you should be loving life then. Anyone selling C Chef or yen pairs, especially if I'll take profit. Yeah, should be loving life right now. Lesoga, good morning. Hope you're well. Yes, it is nice to see momentum in the market. What's up, Ben? Yeah, volatility is crazy. Bitcoin down 10%. Yeah, I saw Bitcoin take a dive as well. There's so much going on in the market right now, and yeah, it's quite crazy because it's all happening so quick. I mean, the market always does this. It kind of, when it's time to bleed, the market just bleeds or whatever. But it all happens at the same time across the board. Unless something fundamentally is going crazy with one particular currency pair, it normally kind of happens at the same time. And just like when the market's a bit stale, kind of all markets are stale, and then they eventually all kind of gain momentum, and that's kind of what we've seen right now. But yeah, really, really crazy moves, I must say. Yen pairs continue to tank this morning. Again, not much of a pullback on these guys, to be honest. But yeah, the bearishness is there for all to be seen. And yeah, I mean, I was discussing this last week, particularly on the monthly chart, because we had such a strong close on the monthly for July. We're at some really nice areas for a lot of these yen pairs where we could be putting major highs in and could be seeing a lot of downside for them. So I'm just expecting more of this. I'm not really viewing this as a pullback anymore for the yen pairs. I know it still technically could be, but because of where we're selling from and the conviction of that momentum, this to me is giving me reversal vibes. So I think we can be seeing a lot more downside for the yen pairs, probably as the year continues to an end. So I do think any upside we see in the yen pairs most likely put a lower high in and just continue south. So I think it's just going to waiting game with them because they'll pull back at some point. They've had some crazy moves. And the market's not going to sustain this forever. So we're going to have some nice pullbacks at some point. And yeah, I'm expecting a lot more downside. So the analysis is pretty straightforward with the yen pairs. Looking for some pullbacks. Dollar yen, it would be nice if we can get there. Although, given the momentum in the market right now, I've got a good feeling we might push halfway, find some resistance, and tank. If the market wants to have a decent pullback, then 149 looks good. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, in terms of the direction, pretty straightforward to me. Looking for some more sells. We've got a major level of support here. In fact, this was the last swing low, which gave us the swing high over there. So this is a really strong low for us. If price was to go and break through that, that's not a good sign for the bulls at all. Could be slowly making our way back down to this area here. But yeah, for dollar yen, I'll be expecting more downside. So just looking for a breather and looking to short. CHF pretty much the same thing as well. Although CHF is only the one that's a little bit different because this one's at all-time highs. All the other yen pairs are not really at all-time highs. They've been to some great heights, but nowhere near the all-time highs. CHF is. So CHF can really tank if it wants to. This was the prior all-time high back in 1979, so a long time ago, and we smashed straight through that. So I think there's a good chance that CHF tanks and pushes back underneath this high here. So there could be a lot of downside because for us to get there, let me measure the pips. So from current price, we've got another 900 pips to fall potentially just to get to that area. And we've probably already fallen about 1,200. So yeah, I think just any upside we see, not any upside, but good upside with some decent retracement, you're basically just looking to short that really. Depending how you take your entries, whether you look at trend line breaks or engulfing candles or moving average crossovers or whatever technical pattern you can look at, the idea is you're looking for a pullback, more downside. I know there will be people looking to try and catch the lows here, trying to look for some buys because the market's quite stretched. So you do think we'll probably see some upsides, and then we try and squeeze a buy in. Sure, that might play out, but it's just going to be a lot more difficult to do, especially when the markets are bleeding so heavily. You don't know when that low is going to form. And even when it looks like it might be forming, it just tanks again. So it's just so much easier to wait for some pullbacks and just keep shorting. So yeah, the analysis will be pretty much the same across the board for all the yen pairs. Yeah. Some look a little bit better than others, but generally speaking, just looking to short. Dollar CHF, I'll take a look as well. Another pair that's absolutely tanked. Dollar being weak and CHF being really strong. Yeah, Bitcoin will take a look as well. Yeah, I did this more nice 1 to 6. Yeah, I can imagine. So if you caught a short this morning on any of the M pairs, you'd be loving life right now. Because look at this. It's not even the afternoon yet on Monday. Well, in the UK anyway. That's a huge candle there. This candle here is bigger than any of these previous candles that we've seen. So it's like the market is just falling without breaks right now. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see, because I know that when we see some upside, very, very high chance it's just a little higher for the market to continue falling. So yeah, staying patient for that. But anyway, dollar CHF, this one's moving like a yen pair as well. Big move there to the downside, almost back at the low here actually. So this was the price swing low. The market's had a massive pullback since then, all the way back to the prior high. Respected it, and has been falling to the downside pretty aggressively since then. So there's a very, very high chance that we're probably just going to keep falling until we get to this low. And then we go from there. We might bounce, we might break through. We'll make that call closer to the time. But right now, it's most likely going to end up back at 0.84. So again, if you do see some upside in the meantime, there's a good chance it's just a pullback for the market to keep selling. So then this becomes a really nice opportunity if it does form. I was talking about this low here last week because I think we were trading around here last week actually. Yeah, this candle was Friday. So we're trading around here. This was the first major target. I think NFP, we just smashed into that. So now this becomes the next area to keep your eye on. So yeah, if we can see a pullback at some point, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You probably won't be seeing anything crazy in terms of the pullbacks. Because like we're saying, there's just so much momentum in the market right now. You might just see something a little bit small, something like this, maybe a few candles to the upside, and then we're gone. Even this would probably be a nice pullback. So keep an eye on something like that on the hourly time frame, maybe even lower. But 0.84 is where I see price ending up, and then maybe some buys look good from then on. But we'll judge that when we get there. Why is gold down? Can someone explain, please? I mean, fundamentally, I don't know, but I can tell that we're seeing a lot of those, a lot of those type of markets like gold, indices, Bitcoin, dollar. All of that is down right now, which is all in sync with each other, basically. This is when all is well. People are buying gold. People are buying indices. People, putting money elsewhere. But now people is taking money out, basically. But as to particularly the reason why that is happening, not too sure. Not keeping up with the news well enough for that. But all I can see really is momentum. And as a technical trader, that is music to my ears. But yeah, it's looking. I'll touch on gold in a moment. Let me just go through Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had a big fall. Ethereum, big fall there as well. So yeah, the markets are moving. The markets are moving. That's my biggest critique this year about price action. Has been very, very slow, except for the yen pairs. Yen pairs have been pretty smooth all year. But now everything is moving, so I like it. But yeah, Bitcoin, we failed at the high there. I was mentioning that last week. That's not a good sign. I said if we maintain that, we're probably going to sell back to the low and probably even further. And yeah, we really did pick up momentum after NFP, and price just hasn't looked back since. So I do think Bitcoin can continue falling. I think we'll probably at least get back to this area here, which we kind of just missed that one anyway. And then, yeah, I mean, I am still kind of bullish Bitcoin, but the only thing I don't like about Bitcoin is that we're failing at the high. It's a whole different kettle of fish if price was pushing up through here and then stalling up here, because then I'll just bet that's a natural retracement and then boom. But the fact that it was stalling at the high, that's not a good sign for Bitcoin. We're failing to break the previous high. We did spike through it a little bit, but failing to break the previous high is not a good sign. I'm trying to look for previous times we've done that. I mean, here we kind of stalled at the high, but we were quick to break through. So a slight stall there, quick breakthrough. We haven't really stalled at the high for that long. So yeah, it's a bit of a, didn't mean to do that. It's a bit of a unique time for Bitcoin, I must say. But anyway, I mean, it doesn't really change the trajectory of the market. It's still very much to the upside, but who knows? We might go for a really prolonged pullback before the next move. So yeah, I still think Bitcoin is going to do something like this at some point. It's just how far that pullback will be. I think, of course, the first area you have to consider is this area here where we stalled there. See what Bitcoin does. If we see some nice rejection, that could be a really nice time to buy. If we do break through, then it's possibly some areas down here we could be coming back to, which is 30K, which will be crazy. But yeah, still bullish, but not looking good for the time being. But this is kind of where I expect Bitcoin to buy from. Either 48, 45K or 32, 30K. And then yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, humongous sell-off. Ethereum not looking hot either. Ethereum's even worse, to be fair, how it's moving. But then again, it's coming back to some nice areas. So if you're looking to buy Ethereum, I think now's a pretty good time actually, even though it's not looking great right now. But as to where we're coming into, it's a nice place for a buy. Because imagine you're going to get a lot of panic sellers right now. A lot of people are going to be panicking about their positions. Oh no, the market's melting. Let me close my position, save my money. Which is normally the better time to buy. Normally the best time to buy. So yeah, big moves there. Okay, so no problem. Happy to help. Mastic Forex, good morning. My Friday trade you go and sell, close at 1.4. Oh, nice. Yeah, everything is down right now. About to sell NZD CAD now, so can you check? Yes, I will take a look at NZD CAD, no problem. Good morning, Dark Sean. Aussie dropped 4%, closed. Good. Okay, you're trading Aussie yen as well. A few people trading the yen pairs. Wow. It just hasn't pulled back enough for me, but good to see other people taking advantage of it. But yeah, Aussie yen, another one tanked as well. It's pretty much the same thing across the board, just heavy moves to the downside. And yeah, how everything is looking. I mean, just look at the velocity of that. It's just a drop. It's not like a steady move like this was here. It's just absolutely downside. So yeah, the characteristics of the market has changed big time. So yeah, this is not the characteristic of a normal pullback. I would be very surprised and shocked if the market was just going to make a high low here. So most likely, if we do see some upside, it's just a high for us to come back down. So yeah, in terms of the next move, what I'm looking for, it's pretty straightforward. I just need to see if I can find it and get the entry. Anyway, in terms of the NZD CAD. So yeah, NZD CAD, you're looking for a sell. So NZD CAD, yeah, this one kind of just sold off. Aussie and New Zealand pairs kind of just sold off this morning. I don't even know why. I didn't even check if there was news, to be honest. There might be news. But yeah, NZD, Aussie, big kind of sells. A little bit weird. I was touching on NZD CAD in my weekly analysis and said that this is a really nice place for a short. But yeah, we kind of opened up. Where did we open up? We opened up around here-ish. Bit of sideways, so this is where I'm snoring, sleeping. And then by the time I woke up, price is just spiking to the downside. So kind of missed that opportunity, but then again, there was no entry in my hours anyway. But yeah, now it's a bit awkward, I must say. I'm very picky with my price action, so I don't like the fact that we've just given us a big wick there to the downside. Although I'm still bearish on the pair, and I do think we can sell off back to the low. Just that this wick make things a little bit awkward. So if I was looking to short this, I would still wait for a little bit more upside for us to get right back at the high before I look for any entries. Because the fact that we left behind such a big wick tells me that we probably will push up higher and probably will spike through the high there a little bit. And then after that, the entries might look good to short. Because yeah, I was favoring NZD CAD to get back to that low this week, and I still am. It's just that wick has made things a little bit awkward. So we might continue to push up a little bit, test the high, and yeah, we might get a nice sell afterwards. But yeah, NZCAD is in a nice area, but yeah, I just don't like the wick. I mean, a lot of Aussie, New Zealand, yeah, so Aussie, big drop there. New Zealand dollar, big drop there. You can see Euro Aussie spiked, Euro NZD spiked to the upside. So a lot of that this morning. But yeah, NZD-CAD I am bearish on. I think we can actually get to this low, to be honest. But yeah, I just don't like that big spike. Rick, USD CAD, yes, I'll take a look. No problem. What's up, podcasty? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. Hope you are good. Okay. Dollar CAD. So yeah, dollar CAD's at a very, very interesting level. And I think the sales for this one do look good. It's more of a like a reversal trade, or trying to play the range high, because if I mark it out like this, you can see you've got the top of the range there. I mean, you can argue that this is kind of the low of the range. It's a bit of a fake out, but this is the range you've got on the weekly chart. There's your highs there, there's your lows there. As you can see, price is right back at the high again. So naturally, this is where you want to be looking to sell, or at least you're looking to sell in this area, because buys don't really make much sense anymore. Sure, we could break out, but you don't really want to find that out by buying. You kind of want to wait for price to break out and then follow the move. If you're looking to buy, but now is generally a time to be looking to sell. And you can see previous times we're here, big rejection, almost there as well, kind of missed it there a little bit. There we go. And we're back there again. And the key thing about this time is that we're forming a massive wick already, which is looking pretty good on the 4 hour. So as you can see, big spike there. So that means any early sellers from last week, which would have had some stop losses above this high, even if they'd given themselves a little bit of room to work with, they would definitely be taken out by that. So effectively, what would be nice would be a stop loss above the high. A stop loss above the high would be nice, but it just means that your risk reward would be a bit skewed, because you can take a trade like that, entry there, stop loss there. I mean, it's not going to skew crazy. You probably can still get a 1-to-1 back into the low there, which is not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, it would be nicer to get. I mean, sometimes the thing with a fake out, once you get a fake out, sometimes the market doesn't need to do any crazy moves anymore. So sometimes you can get away with a tighter stop loss, just above these areas here, because that's originally where a lot of stop losses were prior to this, and then it got spiked. So now you can probably get away with a stop loss there, and then take the trade. It doesn't necessarily need to be above there, but it gives you the most room to breathe. That'll be up to you. But generally speaking, sales from here look good. Seeing some really nice rejection there on the 4 hour and the hourly as well. So yeah, I'll be expecting dollar CAD to take a nice dive to the downside. Back to the lows there at least, but yeah, we could go a lot further. We could go a lot further. And by a lot further, I mean something like that. So yeah, dollar CAD for me is at a really nice place for a short. And I'm still expecting downside on the DXY as well. So maybe a bit of a pullback first, because we're coming into some support now. But generally speaking, I think dollar continues to fall. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD CAD. Okay, yeah. I mean, you can send me some designs if you want, podcasting. Send me some of your designs so I can take a look. No problem, Rick. Happy to help. Happy to help. But yeah, the awkward thing about all of this is that a lot of the pairs I had on my watch list, or a lot of the ideas I had on my watch list, I think I had about 7 going into the week. I think about 6 of them have all kind of hit the targets of where I was expecting the market to go. In fairness, most of them were C-Chef. Most of them were C-Chef and yen pairs. So yeah, they all kind of just collapsed. But I'm not, excuse me, I'm not too bothered because I do expect more downside. The targets I was have hit, and now I do expect more pullbacks and more downside. So yeah, with those opportunities, I'm gonna keep looking at them. I just need to see some decent pullbacks. Okay, sending some sign. Have you already sent them, or are you going to send them? And yeah, I've put that on pause at the moment because I'm very, very busy with my own prop firm. But yeah, I mean, I will continue that, but I don't think I'll be able to actually trade it because I think Fund and Pips, they have like a new kind of contract you have to sign. Um, from my understanding, I think it means you can't. I don't know. I think you can't trade with other firms or whatever. But as another prop firm owner, it might be a bit dodgy. So I'll still continue to do the challenge, but I'm not too sure if I can actually trade on the funded side. But I'll double check that. Okay, gonna send them. Yeah, I mean my Instagram is in the description. So yeah, just check it out there. No, this is just a different room. This is just a different room. But yeah, the office has changed. The office has definitely changed. Like, when's the last time you were on the stream? I changed the office a while ago. But yeah, like I said, a lot of my ideas that I've had this week have kind of hit the target. So, for example, Euro USD looking for a push to the high, that's kind of been met. Pound USD, I'm still looking for a push to the high, so that one hasn't been met and has got some work to do. A lot of the yen pairs, CAD yen, I was looking to short, that's kind of blitzed through the 104 area. Pound yen, I was looking for 184, that's been blitzed. Dollar yen, I was looking for 146. That's been blitzed. Um, and yeah, and the CHF pairs, Euro CHF, I was looking for the all-time low. That's been blitzed. Pound CHF hasn't quite made it there yet, but it's not very far away. So I'm kind of hoping this has a bit of a breather first and then sells off. Aussie CHF, that's broken the all-time lows as well. Actually, that did it on Friday. CAD CHF already did it. New Zealand CHF already did it. So yeah. And I like dollar CHF as well because there's a lot of momentum and the likelihood we'll get there anyway. But yeah, I'm just going to be a little bit more aggressive on the pullbacks given the conditions of the market. Because you want to be flexible in the market. It's not too flexible where you're just kind of making things up as you go along, but you do want to be flexible to a degree because there'll be times where you're waiting for deeper pullbacks because it makes sense to wait for a deeper pullback. And there'll be times where you're waiting for shallow pullbacks because it makes sense for a shallow pullback. And in these conditions, it makes sense to look for shallow pullbacks. So I'm going to be a bit more aggressive on that part. Still taking trades that are within my plan, but knowing that, okay, we're probably not going to get a bigger pullback here. So see if I take the trade now or I just don't take the trade at all. Yeah, that's kind of the conditions we're in. So I'm going to have to bite the bullet from that perspective. So yeah, especially on the CHF and the yen pairs. Dollar pairs, I can be a little bit more patient. Euro USD was still very corrective, these swings as well. So I think there will be another big pullback at some point. So I'm not too worried about that. Same with pound as well. Dollar CHF, that one might have to be a bit more aggressive. And yeah, the rest of the CHF pairs and the yen pairs as well. Because you're just not going to see a big pullback. I mean, you will at some point. The market will have a big move up higher. It's not going to keep falling forever. So it will have a big pullback. It just might not happen for a week or two. And in that time, you could still fall another 200 pips. Yes, I'm still in London. What's up, Joseph? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Is anyone trading their indices today or looking to trade them? I mean, again, I'm still in the testing phase of US 30. And so far, I'm seeing pretty good results, to be honest. So I'm liking what I'm seeing for US 30 because, again, I'm looking to slowly add US 30 to my trading pairs that I trade. So yeah, I'm still getting to grips with a US 30. So far, looking decent, but I can tell some differences between FX and US 30 already in terms of the price action day to day. But so far, I like it because generally I know I'm looking for upside in the bigger picture of things. So that makes my job a lot easier because how I determine my bias is on the daily, weekly, monthly charts. So that's pretty straightforward. Of course, it does have its bearish time and some bearish structure there as well. But it just makes everything so simpler because I know that the bearish structure is just short term for the market to continue higher. So yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing for US 30 so far. And going forward, again, we'll be looking for a higher low in this area. Definitely as we come into this area here. US 100 tanking pretty hard there too. We've got a major high over here. That could be where price is moving towards. S&P, that major high is all the way back over there. Already pushed past this point here. So yeah. So I think again with the indices as well, if you do see a decent pullback, most likely the market's going to continue to fall. Hey, what's up, More? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. New entry. What do you mean by that, Stefan? When are we having another session? You mean when am I going to be live again? I'm live every day of the week, Monday to Friday. Well, not Saturday, Sunday, but Monday to Friday. And yeah, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So kind of like the end of the London session, you know, about to go into New York. What's up? Follow the trend. Hope you're well. Huge liquidity grab and CHF pairs to continue higher once the lows are broken. Yeah, at some point, yeah. Because you know that's all the market has been doing. You know, if I go to Euro CHF, go to the weekly chart, you know, every time the market does eventually sweep the low, you know, we do have pretty big moves up higher. It does happen there again. But the trick is, you know, how far do we push down before we do see that move up higher? That's where the trick is because we're at all-time lows here. It's not like we can look to the left and, you know, spot some previous structure which we could use because we haven't been at these prices before. So I would never really look to try and take that type of trade. I would if it's within a trend and I'm not at all-time lows and I've got structure I can use and, you know, I'm trading from a level. So that would make sense. But in this particular case, where the market is just breaking all-time lows and still falling, yeah, it's difficult to try and anticipate a reversal because we just don't know how far the market could fall. You know, it could potentially wick here and push up, or it could just continue falling for another 100 pips, 200 pips, 300 pips, and then decide it wants to move. So it's difficult to catch that low in these circumstances. But yeah, I do expect us to have a pullback because again, we're not going to keep falling forever. I know at the moment in time everything seems so bearish, so it feels like everything's just falling to oblivion. But we will have a bigger pullback. at some point. But would I try and anticipate that low? No, not really. I'd rather try and anticipate the lower highs. So yeah, I do agree with you, but I don't think I'll be looking to trade that. Even like a pair like CAD Chef, which has fallen pretty hard. Again, these are all-time lows for CAD Chef as well. You know, you would expect to see a pullback sooner rather than later for this one, but at the same time, given the conditions we're in right now, I wouldn't be surprised if CAD Chef continues to fall for the rest of the week before we might see that pullback, maybe on Friday or something. So yeah, I do agree. Just yeah, I don't think I'll trade that opportunity. What I am looking to trade for the CHF is pound CHF back to that low there, because this is a big low here on the daily chart. There's a very, very high chance we're going to get there, especially with all this momentum. So I know if pound CHF does see some upside, it's most likely just going to be a lower high for price to get back to this low. So that becomes a really nice opportunity for me if it does arise. Um, so yeah, that's the opportunity I'm looking for pound CHF, and for dollar CHF. I'm looking at something similar as well. There's a big level of support here on the daily, weekly chart. Good chance we get there. So again, if dollar CHF does see some upside, I'm looking for a lower high for another sell back into the low. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the CHF pairs. Overall, pretty bearish. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the channel. I really appreciate everyone who has subscribed and dropped a like. It does really help out. Make sure you do hit the bell as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because you will be notified. Jamal, okay, we take the dollar CAD. Okay, pound CHF to sweep the lows. For now, those are very, very, very strong. So yeah, I agree. I think pound CHF is likely going to take out that low as well, because pretty much every other Swiss pair has got to the major swing low of the daily, weekly, monthly chart. Pound CHF, I think, is like the only one that hasn't, or the your typical CHF pairs. So I think pound CHF is likely going to catch up and go and do that move. Even though it's been tanking so hard for the past few days. So the likelihood is that pound CHF will continue to fall. Therefore, if it does pull back, that becomes a really nice short, and a nice short opportunity there. So I like pound CHF to the downside, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, I mean, it's just so steep. You can see just how the angle price is falling at. It's just so steep. So is it the characteristics have changed? It's not like what we're doing here. It's not like what we're doing there. It's not even like what we're doing here, even though that was a pretty strong move there. But even that, it was just one big candle and everything became corrective again. So the characteristics have completely changed. It's something like that. And even that was due to COVID. So, yeah, big moves in the market. Anyway, so dollar CAD, I'll take a look at. Pound NZD, Rick, we'll take a look. What's up, Holly One? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are well. So yeah, as I was mentioning with dollar CAD, shorts look good in this particular area. If I quickly zoom out to the weekly chart, you can see where we're trading. Massive resistance to the weekly chart. Rejection over there, almost over there, another rejection over there, now there for a third time. So I do think as long as we hold this, the likelihood is we're going to see some downside. You've got lovely support down here, one over there, second there, third. This is a pretty clean range. If the market is going to bounce here, then there's a good chance we swing back to the low. So after we've just printed this massive wick, any early sellers from last week or early this morning would have been liquidated with that move there. So I'm now expecting this to fall over at least back to this low here. Like I said, we can go a lot further, back to this area, but we can take it step by step. And the next step would be back to this area here, since this is the move that gave us that big push. So I'm looking for dollar CAD to end up back at 1.38 pretty soonish. Pretty bearish on dollar as well, so I think that will help out. In terms of stop loss, if you want to be a bit safer, you can look at a stop loss above the high here. That gives you the most room to play with, because if the market does push above that high there and takes the stop loss, then most likely, the market is breaking higher anyway. So a stop loss above there is pretty safe. You can go for a stop loss above this area here, because this is where a lot of price stop losses would have been before this wick happened. And now that we've kind of had that wick, it means that price is not likely going to do another one. So you can probably get away for stop loss here, maximize that risk to reward. Of course, I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, in terms of direction and targets, that's what I'm looking for dollar CAD. All right, no problem. I won't be mad at you more. I ought to be mad at you. You got a life to live, mate. Okay, no problem. We'll catch you tomorrow, man. Have a good one. Okay, so we'll take a look at pound NZD. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. Yeah, that can be some downside as well when we see some really crazy moves. It depends on the setups you're looking for, because everyone will have a setup they're looking for, or at least should do. And that setup will be good in certain conditions. For example, some people like a lot of momentum. They're looking for really, really short pullbacks. Like 2-3 candles and they're in for a buy or a sell. So right now they'll be loving life with this type of momentum. And there will be other people who are looking for really big pullbacks, for big pullbacks, something like this, something like this, or like this, or like that, even like this as well. This is something they're looking for. So they're going to need a whole lot of price action to push up before they get something like that. So that's going to take some time. But again, that's completely fine, because if you broaden your horizon enough, there are other markets that will be moving, that will be doing something similar to that at some point in time. I think that's probably with maybe some of the USD pairs at the moment, or maybe some of the CAD pairs. So yeah, there's a blend. Some people are looking for a lot of momentum and quick pullbacks. Some people are looking for really big pullbacks. Best case scenario is that you can adapt to both, but it can be difficult at that, because you have to be very, very in tune with the conditions. Because the moment you're not in tune with the market conditions, it means you start looking for shallow pullbacks when it's not good to look for shallow pullbacks, and you start waiting for really big pullbacks when it's not really a time to wait for big pullbacks. So sometimes it's best just to focus on one and just wait for those circumstances to arise, rather than look at both. But if you can, then it means you can be very versatile. And it allows you to make money in a lot of conditions. But yeah, I fully agree. It's difficult, and if you're looking for bigger pullbacks, it's going to take some time. So yeah, with pound NZD, so that one shot up this morning. It's looking pretty bearish now. I was talking about some buys for this one, but it was a little bit further down, around 2.12. So I said, if the market does continue to fall a little bit further, this could be a nice place for a buy. Now, I'm not expecting pound NZ just to continue the trend. I think we are at some prices where I do think a reversal is likely. If I go to the monthly chart, we just about pinched that high there. This was our COVID wick. I do think price is at an area where we could actually sell off quite aggressively. Maybe something similar to that, because this to me just looks like a big pullback of that move. So I do think eventually we'll see some downside. But at the same time, there's still a lot of bullish momentum in the market. So looking for buys, even if it is just to catch a bounce, is probably worthwhile. So yeah, pound NZD to me, it looks like price is forming a lower high here, possibly. So I'll be expecting this move to continue south, and this could end up being a nice place for a buy. And again, it might just give us another lower high before price continues south, but this could still be a move to profit on. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we continue back to the moon. But yeah, right now I like the buys for pound NZD at 2.125. We just need to get there. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at for pound NZD. Euro NZD, something similar as well. But again, a pullback is needed. In fact, this one already had a bounce at the high there, which is kind of similar to what I'm looking at for pound NZD, just at that level. So yeah, just so much momentum right now. But it's weird. It's very weird because some of the dollar pairs are completely out of sync. Like Aussie dollar, for example, looking very, very bearish. I mean, look at the past few days, huge move down. Look at Euro USD, huge move up. So that is a big contrast in price action there because they're both dollar pairs. Dollar's normally the governing force there. So if dollar's weak, they're all kind of moving up. If dollar's strong, they're all moving down. But at this particular point in time, that correlation isn't playing out right now. So you're seeing Euro USD push up whilst Aussie dollar falls, which is testament to Aussie weakness. Aussie's just so weak right now. Hence why you're getting Euro Aussie and pound NZD and Euro NZD all flying to the moon. What's up, Pragasar? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Any markets you're looking at? Bro, give me one trade. That's not how it works, my man. That's not how it works. Because if I'm giving you one trade, then theoretically I should be taking that trade as well. Because if it's a good trade, why wouldn't I take it? But I'm not in any positions at the moment. We're just seeing a lot of big moves, so it's been difficult because I normally look for kind of medium-sized pullbacks. That's kind of where my ideal pullback is, which is probably on average how the FX pairs move. But sometimes you will get the extremes where price is giving you really big pullbacks or really shallow pullbacks. And right now, we're more in the shallow territory. So I'm going to be a bit more aggressive this week because it makes sense to be in terms of the pullback. So if Euro Yen, for example, I would be waiting for a move up here at least, or even there. But I know that there's probably a chance we might not see a pullback that big. I mean, how many pips are we away from that? So from this first area, that's 500 pips alone. That's 500 pips. I know the yen pairs have a lot of pips, but this is the 4-hour chart. This is what you do on a daily or the weekly chart. A move like that, just a few candles, is 500 pips. So, and I can imagine from here to there, yeah, that's close to 1,900. So there's just so much momentum, so much volatility right now. Even a move like this up here is just a really big move for the market. Now it'll probably be like 300. Yeah, and this is the hourly chart as well. So crazy stuff right now. So I'll probably be looking at shallow pullbacks. If the market can form resistance, start to maybe give a double top or maybe fake the high and then look good with a nice entry signal, that could tempt me for a trade. I'll still keep an eye on these areas here because I still like them to short. But like I said, I don't think we'll get there. If we do, great. That just means it's a better trade opportunity for me. But if we don't, I'll still stay in my toes because even a sell-off back to the low there, we're still looking at a decent move there. And again, pips is not really important to me because my stop loss size will differ from trade to trade. If my stop loss needs to be 50 pips or 100 pips, then it will be 100 pips or 50 pips. And then my target will compensate for that. But there's just so much pips right now in the yen pairs. The Sogo Vice USD ZAR weekly time frame. Okay, we'll have a look. See. Aussie CAD sells 0.9, TP 0.88. Okay, we'll take a look. See, gold, haven't actually looked at gold yet, Rupesh, so we will take a quick look. Let me just go over to USD ZAR. Okay, USD ZAR looking pretty bullish right now. Let me go to this one, more data. So yeah, USD ZAR looking pretty bullish. It depends what type of move you're looking for. If you're looking for a swing, then we potentially could do something like that back to the high, because we have been pretty consistent for all these higher lows. So maybe prices put one in just after it's kind of taken out this low here for a nice little flag pattern and on our way. So that could be the case. But in the meantime, price might still find resistance. Ooh, price might still find resistance in these areas and could see a bit of downside in the meantime. So if you're looking for a shorter term sell, then you might have a nice opportunity in the hand. And by shorter term, I mean like kind of 4 hour time frame, maybe hourly. It drops the 4 hour, and yeah, as we come into this area, could catch a nice sell off that. But then it might still, that's not the tool I wanted, and then it might still break through. So this could be the move you profit from, and then we continue bullish. But yeah, on the weekly chart, the trend is up, still seeing higher highs and higher lows. So my bias will be bullish on the weekly. I'll be expecting price to eventually at some point come back to the high here. But just looking to trade that on the weekly becomes a little bit difficult, especially in terms of risk to reward as well. But yeah, I would expect the weekly chart to make its way back to 19.8 at some point in time. But yeah, we're in an area of resistance in the lower time frame. So if you're on the lower time frame, shorts look good. Of course, I would wait for some rejection right now. We're looking really, really bullish right now, and we could just break straight through. So I wait for some signs that the market's struggling there, some wicks, some rejection. Then we can look at some shorts. But yeah, weekly chart, I do think we're just going to continue to push to the high. Is it true when people say don't focus on the money? That's a struggle. Yeah, I mean, for your mental, it would help to not focus on the money, of course. Um, yeah, but of course, it's a lot easier said than done, because at the end of the day, we're doing this for money. I mean, if you couldn't make money from trading, I don't think many of us will still trade. So at the end of the day, money's the most important thing. But again, the money is a byproduct of your actions in the market. If you're doing really good actions in terms of following your plan very well, making smart decisions, taking good quality setups, then you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded in time for that. But if you're going to be really lazy on the charts, make stupid mistakes, and take rubbish trades, and just YOLO everything, then of course you're going to lose money. You're not going to be rewarded for it. So the focus has to be the charting. The focus has to be the trade you're taking. And then as a byproduct, the money will take care of itself. But then again, we're human at the end of the day. So even every trade you take, you're going to look at the money. You just need to make sure that you divert your attention back to the charts. Did you take a good trade? If you did, win, lose, or draw, pat yourself on the back and go again. But yeah, I don't expect anyone just to completely be oblivious to the money, unless you've just got so much money you don't really care. Then yeah, you might be oblivious, but most people's not in that situation. So you probably will keep an eye on it, but yeah, focus on the charts as much as you can. Okay, so I'll go through Aussie CAD. We'll see what's happening over there. We'll take a look at gold as well. No problem. So happy to help. Follow the trend. CAD very bearish at the moment. Yeah, I would agree. EuroCAD's a bit extended to the upside, due a retracement anyway. I'll go look at that one in a bit of detail. Let me just go through Aussie CAD and gold. Okay, so Aussie CAD, you said you're in a sell to 0.88200, which is just underneath that wick. Wow, we just spiked just above it. And you're in a sell from 0.9. Which is here. So looking good then, looking really good. And I think that wick is likely to fill as well. I mean, it's a pretty big wick, and it's probably like 60% of that candle. But given the circumstances and how everything's looking, I think we're likely to fill it. I don't think that'll be a big rejection for price to push higher. I think we're likely to fill it. So yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. I mean, in terms of anyone looking to trade Aussie CAD, I feel like if we do form some rejection up high, that could end up being a nice trade idea there. Possibly looking for additional entries or just entries in general. That could be a nice little trade because, like I said, I do think that wick is likely to fill. It might take its time to fill, but I think it will do so. Aussie CAD, NZD CAD, I do think longer term they're seeing a lot of downside. I'm looking at the monthly chart here. We had a massive level in the monthly over here, which price rejected very well last month. So I do think it's a matter of time before we just end up back at the low here around 0.86. So in my eyes, I'm expecting a lot of downside for Aussie CAD and a similar situation for NZD CAD as well. So I'm going to be very, very bearish on them for the time being. And any meaningful upside most likely just as a pullback. So yeah, I'm liking the Aussie CAD opportunity there. Okay, we'll go through gold. I haven't actually looked at gold yet. I'm not really interested with gold, to be honest. I know it's kind of trading at this area here, which is what I was talking about last week, but I don't like the fact how we sold off really aggressively to it. It's just not sitting well with me. It wasn't like we kind of fell back nicely and a nice corrective pullback to it. It was kind of just a big drop. Although I still do think gold is likely to push back to the high now since we broke structure. But yeah, I've lost a little bit of faith in gold. But it's still a nice area, don't get me wrong. Still a nice area, this area here. I think if you're looking for entries on the lower time frame, it makes the most sense. Even like the 30-minute. If you see a nice shift of momentum, that could be a nice little entry there. Or even better, if we can spike the low maybe in New York and then reject that. That itself could be a nice little entry there. Take a trade, back to the highs up here. Worst case scenario, price comes back down. Probably walk away for small profit. Best case scenario, you catch the low and price is going to shoot to the moon. So I think this is still a nice place for a buy. You can see all the wicks there. All the wicks there on the 30-minute, on the hourly as well. The price is really struggling here, and it's a smart place for a higher low. If I whip out the Fibonacci, I think we've probably come into the 50. Yeah, 0.618 as well. So it's a nice pullback. It was just very aggressive, but it looks like we're starting to respect that area. So I think another move down would be nice, just because I know there'll be a lot of stop losses just underneath the low here, so we might go and run that first before move up. But generally speaking, 2420, 2410 is where I'd be looking for upside. How's silver looking? Silver's looking pretty bearish, and I actually think silver can keep falling. That's a little bit of a worry as well for gold buys, because they normally sow in June. But yeah, silver's not looking good. Nice little retest there. Wouldn't be too surprised if silver comes back to that low. So yeah, that's a bit of an awkward one. Anyway, we'll take a look at Euro CADs, psychological level 152. Okay, we'll take a look. Big resistance in the monthly. Adolphus in Euro longs on the lower time frames. Okay, we'll go take a look. What lot size? It depends how much you're risking. It depends on the pips as well. Again, with my trades, I calculate my lot size every time I take a trade. I don't have a consistent lot size. It depends on the stop loss. So how many pips the stop loss is, and it depends on the pair I'm trading. You can use a lot size calculator to find that out. Just Google it. There's a few you could use. I use the one of baby pips a lot. Sometimes use the one of FXCM as well. Just FXCM lot size calculator or baby pips lot size calculator on Google. There's others you can use as well. But yeah, it depends on your lot size. It depends on your stop loss, because if you're using 10 pip stop loss, then your lot size is going to be very different to another person using 30 or 50. And if you trade gold or if you trade Euro USD as well. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to recommend a lot size. And it depends on your risk you want to use per trade. You're risking 1%, 0.5%, 2%. That that will impact your lot size as well. So yeah, find out all those calculations, put it into a lot size calculator, and you'll get your answer. Okay, let me go take a look at Euro Yen. I mean, not Euro Yen, Euro CAD. So yeah, Euro CAD, big move past few days. I think NFP kind of really helped this one to the upside. But yeah, you're right. I do expect to see retracement now. I do expect to see some retracement. But I mean, again, everything is still very much up. So I would be bullish on EuroCAD on the higher time frames. But as we've taken out these highs here, that's a horrible line. Let me do that again. As you've taken out these highs here, we've taken out these highs here as well. Yeah, it's time for price to take a bit of a breather. Do something like this. But I think longer term, we probably will continue to push on. So yeah, I mean, I like this area here. This could be a nice place for a buy. Where is that? 1.5. So yeah, I like 1.5. I also like the high here as well if we were to get there. We're trading at 152 at the moment. So yeah, now that we've taken some fresh highs, we could look at to have a pullback from that. I wouldn't take the sell just because I know high time frames are still relatively bullish, and that's where the momentum lies. But yeah, I would expect retracement, but this would be my opportunity. 1.5 buys or 1.49 buys. And the likelihood of getting that pullback is pretty high as well, because you can look at the way the market's moving. We're seeing a lot of downside every time the market does push. So there's a good chance we'll see that pullback as well. But yeah, EuroCAD, I agree. Downside is likely. It's just I wouldn't take that short. I would rather take the longs. Okay, we'll go through Euro USD, and then we'll take a look at Pound Yen and Platinum as well. Reasonable risk dollar amount to risk on a 50K. Well, it depends. Is it a prop firm account? Is it a prop firm 50K account? Because if that's the case, then you probably got a 10% max drawdown rule. And then you got max daily as well. If it's your personal 50K account, then that's different. Depends on your risk and how much you're prepared to lose. Because your personal account, you can give yourself 30, 40% buffer. So that means you could be a little bit more aggressive with your trades. But prop firm, you'd have to stick within that rule. If it's a prop firm account and 10% is your max overall drawdown, then a good risk will probably either be 0.5% per trade or 1% per trade. If you want to be comfortable, give yourself enough room, I'd say 0.5, because effectively, if you're risking 0.5 per trade, then you've got 20 trades effectively until you get to the max drawdown. And that would have to be 20 consecutive losers as well. So you give yourself enough room there to breathe. So that would be $250 per trade. I was going to say 500 there, but no, it'd be $250 per trade. I'd say that's a nice area to be. Sure, it might take a little bit longer to pass, or make bigger gains in general, but in trading, you got to think about the downside first and then the upside. Because if you've got the downside in check, then you're good to go. Okay, so we'll go to Euro USD next. So you said you're in some longs for Euro. I'm looking to long Euro as well. It just didn't pull back enough for me. I was looking for the retest of the high there, but price just kind of opened up bullish and pushed up pretty hard. So I'm kind of hoping we can have a bit of a pullback at some point, because I do think the longer term move now for Euro USD is probably back to this area here. I'm looking for DXY to do something similar back to the low there. So I do think dollars are going to keep falling, and inherently that'll probably take the euro up as well. I'll take Euro USD up as well to back to this area, possibly that low, that high there as well at some point. But yeah, for me, it looks like a really nice opportunity for some swings for Euro. But yeah, at the moment, because we're just trading at the high now, I wouldn't want to be looking to long it just yet. So I kind of want price to take a bit of a breather, see some downside, and then I'll be looking to long, and effectively, still from the same area. So that would be nice. That would be nice as well. Yeah, as areas for a pullback. Just need to see if we can get there. But yeah, that's kind of why I'll be looking at Euro. I'll be looking at longing, looking at buying Euro as well, just not now because we're just at the high. Not that we can't break through, but I know I'd have better odds of pricing upside down here than that. So yeah, Euro USD, I'll be looking at buys as well. Next major target would be the high here, which price actually hit already. Did not know that. Okay, so scrap that. This will be the next major target up there, around 1.11. So yeah, that's what I'll be looking at for Euro. And I'll go through pound, yen, and platinum next. Okay, happy to help, Sam. Okay, I might need to change my Discord link. I think it's expired, so bear with me for 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, this is the link for it. Completely free to join. Oh, there we go. Completely free to join. When it's close to launch, we'll be doing some opportunities for discounts there as well. So make sure you're involved in all of that. And yeah, I mean, during the discussion, we talk about trading opportunities. I share trades there. People share trades there as well. Discuss all of that jazz. So if you are interested in that, feel free to check it out. Okay, there we go. Anyway, where was I? Pound yen. So yeah, pound yen, pretty straightforward with this one. Looking at more downside. Again, where we sold off from the monthly perspective, because we were touching on this on the monthly candle closure when it closed last week. Because I was touching upon the point that we just took out this high here, and then we sold off pretty hard with this bearish engulfing candle. That could be the sign that the market wants to actually take a big sell. The reason I said that is because last time we did something like that, which was back over here, you can see what happened. Big rejection, market absolutely sold off a cliff. I know there's a lot of fundamental reasons behind why we did that, but from a technical standpoint, it's pretty much the same thing. Impulse, correction, spike the high, off we go. Impulse, correction, spike the high, possibly off we go. So higher time frames, there's a lot of room to the downside for pound yen. Next kind of major area value would be, I would say, the support level there, which you can probably see it better on the daily and the weekly. And after that, I would say this high there. So that would be the next kind of major areas I'm expecting pound yen to get to before we might see some upside and might see some buyers step into the market. So 179 and 171, I would say. But it drops the weekly. You can see that level there, a lot of support there. Nice rejection there as well, not too far away. So what would be nice this week is if we can see a bit of upside and then short it back into that level. So yeah, that would be nice. But you can see from a weekly standpoint, really, really heavy price action. I mean, we can't even look at this candle and take it too, can't take into account too much because the week has just started. It's only Monday. It's not even New York session Monday, and it's already that bearish. So this candle could still do a lot of movement before the end of the week in terms of it could pull right back. It could even push even further. So yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that. But last week's candle, there was just a lot of momentum. So it makes a lot of sense why the market's so bearish right now. But yeah, we just see momentum, weekly, daily momentum as well, 4-hour momentum. So all I want to see for pound yen is a bit of a breather, a little high somewhere, and then catch the shorts back into 179 and then 171. So yeah, that's kind of how I would take a look at pound yen. In terms of platinum. What's platinum's prefix again? Keep forgetting this is like XXPD or XDP. I can't forget it. I need to type platinum out. Is it there? That's it. XPT. XPT. Okay, so platinum. Last time I had a look at platinum, we were trading around here. Oh, looks like the analysis played out pretty well. Or did it? I mean, I was talking about some sells from here, but I can't remember if this move already happened or it didn't. Because what I was saying was I was looking for another push up and then the sell, push back to the high, then the sell. Don't know if that really happened or not. But anyway, we reject that level. That's essentially what we're looking for. Price to reject that level, because what I'm looking for is these lower highs to continue. One over there, second over there, third over there, fourth there. So I do think in the bigger picture, there's a good chance that platinum can continue to fall back into that low. So if I go to the monthly chart, probably see a little bit clearer. You can see all that rejection over there. We've got major support down here. It could be making a slow move back to that low. And we've got major support here as well. So could probably use that as a first target there. But yeah, we're seeing major rejection. So the monthly chart, we're seeing some nice highs the market's creating. Weekly chart, similar thing as well. I must admit the conditions are a little bit choppy here. So it's not the best, but what you can use to your advantage is the highs the market's making. So if we want to keep that structure going, then we're probably going to see a move down. So typically looking for shorts in this makes a lot of sense. I mean, dropping lower, momentum looks a little bit better. So this would be another lower high here, another one there as well. So what I'd be looking for would be the next lower high after that for another short to the downside, this being a major support level around 880. And then longer term, we're looking at 82, 822. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for the platinum. A lot more downside. Is it over for Bitcoin? Great question. I don't think so. I was talking on Bitcoin earlier. I don't think it's over, but it's not looking good. I must admit, we sold off pretty hard from that descending channel there. I said if we do reject that high, it's not a good sign for Bitcoin, because again, the idea with a bull flag pattern is that when you have your big impulse and then you start to see the bull flag start to develop, it should be breaking the high in the third attempt. 1, 2, 3 should be breaking the high, because if it doesn't, then that means all the momentum we've had previously most likely isn't there anymore, and we're probably going to have a sell-off and actually break the low. Sometimes you do see prolonged bull flag patterns, which we do have a third push, and then the market does the move, but that's a lot rarer. It does happen because, of course, the market is unique and do whatever it wants, but on average, which is what traders got to deal with, if we do fail at the third attempt, it's not a good sign. And that's exactly what happened. And then after NFP, it was lights out for Bitcoin. So I do think longer term Bitcoin is still pushing up. And I have spoken about some of these areas as some areas where buys look good. So this would be the first area. You can see we had a nice pause there, a lot of momentum come from it. So 48, 45K, I think this would be an interesting point for Bitcoin. If that fails, then I'll look at this area here. So I still am a big believer Bitcoin is going to break the high and continue further. But yeah, the fact is we're rejecting the high pretty aggressively, which is not a good sign. So I think that means a big pullback is in store for Bitcoin. But yeah, I think a lot of people, because we had this massive move here. So imagine if you put yourself in the mindset of your average Joe who reads about Bitcoin in the news from time to time, maybe has a friend who talks about Bitcoin from time to time. So when everything is pumping, that's where the fear of missing out comes in. And a lot of people will be buying at this time at the high, just expecting price to push on. I remember a lot of people at this time were talking about 100K. So, price trading at 70K, you're thinking, okay, if I buy now I'm profiting all the way to 100. But now you're getting all of this aggressive momentum here, aggressive rejection here. And now Bitcoin's somewhat bleeding. A lot of people will be panic selling right now, which could help fund the next buy. So that's just why I like these areas here. But yeah, it's not looking good, I must admit. Ethereum as well. Heavy selling. Heavy. What's up, Tizzy? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Short on Euro USD 1.09. Okay, we'll take a look at that 30 pip target. Nice stuff. We'll take a look. Yeah, I know. In the space of 3 weeks, I know. That's what's that's what's funny about a grind. When the market's grinding higher. You see that happen all the time. The market will grind. So it happens with indices all the time. Bitcoin, not really. But indices kind of make a slow grind higher, and then when they sell off pretty hard. And the pound yen was kind of moving like an indices, moving like the S&P 500 throughout the whole year, or the past 2 years. Really, it's been moving like the S&P, really just pushing higher, correction, push higher, correction. Now that we've come to some really big areas in the monthly chart where I don't think we're correcting anymore, I think we're reversing really. As I said on the monthly chart, I think we're reversing. I'm not really bullish anymore on the yen pairs. I'm not expecting this anymore. I'm actually expecting this now. So I don't think we're correcting. I feel like this is a reversal, and the market just giving all the gains back. And I feel like we're just going to keep falling. Of course, we're going to have pullbacks and breathers as well. The market's just not going to drop in one line, although it's been doing that for the past few days. But it will have a pullback at some point. This is FX, not crypto. So we will have our steady pullbacks at some point in time. But yeah, I do think this is a reversal. But yeah, you're right. We've given it back so quickly. Yeah, which is quite funny actually, because the yen pairs were so bullish at one point, and now it's even more bearish. It's like the bullishness never happened. Anyway, let me look at so yeah, I'll take a look at euro. Yeah, it does look bad. I mean, again, it looks bad at the moment, but everything is so zoomed in at the moment in time, because you're looking at that big bearish candles and you're thinking, wow, that's horrific. But if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, all Bitcoin is doing is just failing at the high, really. That's all Bitcoin is doing. The rejection isn't particularly crazy. It's not like we just went into the high and rejected it in one go. It's been a slow kind of battle. We've been back and forth, and now we're looking a little bit bearish. But all Bitcoin is doing is just failing at the high. This could just be a bigger move down to form a higher low somewhere and push back up. So I've not lost hope for Bitcoin yet. But yeah, zooming in and looking at that 4-hour price action, the hourly price action, even the daily, it doesn't look good. Yeah, could be. That could be correct. Follow the trend. Trump could definitely excite Bitcoin buyers. Yeah, I think just all the major markets that would normally be going up when things are good, like the indices, um, I mean gold, Bitcoin, they're all kind of just reversed. Yeah, that's true as well, Ben. Yeah, combined for very overextended market because that's the thing with FX. We never go too far for too long. I've been saying that through the yen pairs. We never go too far for too long. It will reverse. It will correct. Um, and all you need to do to verify that is just look at previous price action. Just zoom out. Look what price does. I mean, maybe bar this, but all CAD yen has been doing for ages is just in a big range, really. So although zoomed in, this is the monthly chart. Although zoomed in, looks like a beautiful uptrend, and it was a beautiful uptrend. But because it's FX, this is not crypto. This is not indices, not even metals. We are going to see some downside at some point. Um, and yeah, the downside is upon us. And just like this, the market is looking so bearish right now. We are going to see some upside at some point, and it's going to be some really nice price action. I have no idea when it's going to happen. Yeah, that's the trick. I have no idea when it's going to happen. It could be this week, next week, or the week after. But we will see price find its feet somewhere and push up. And I'll be waiting for some sells. Anyway, let me take a look at euro before I forget. So, Tiz, you said you're short euro. Stop loss 1.09513. 09513. 09513. Okay, that's about here-ish. Oh, that's it exactly. Target 1.09839. 8938. So about there-ish. And then you have a second target at 0.086. Okay, so I mean, it's a nice place for a short. I'm bullish on euro, so I'm just going to be waiting for buys. But quite frankly, I wouldn't want to be buying from that area anyway. And if I had to do anything with euro, it would be shorts because of where we're trading. But because of the bullish structure we're starting to print, which is the low here to the high, to the low, to the high, to the low, to the high, the momentum we're seeing, I do think there's a good chance price is going to do something like this longer term. So that's the move I'm interested in. In the time being, we are failing at the highs there, and I do expect to see retracements. So I do think downside is likely. So yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. It's just I'm waiting for the buy. So I do hope we retrace for your sake and for mine, because I want to buy it down low. And I like the wicks there as well. A lot of rejection at the high. A lot of rejection at the high. So there's a good chance we do push down. I'm also looking at the DXY as well, and I think there's a good chance we do push up, because DXY has come into a pretty big level on the daily chart there. So I do think DXY is going to have a bit of a breather. Still think it's going to continue to fall and break through the area, but I think we'll find our feet first, push up, and then sell later on. And yeah, I'm expecting DXY to end up down there at some point in time. So I like the trade, but I think it's more of just a retrace me looking to catch from my analysis anyway. And again, looking for a 30 pip move for retracement makes a lot of sense as well. You're not looking for anything crazy and being sensible there. So yeah, I don't mind that. I'm looking for the buys, but I would expect retracement anyway. We'll look at gold. GA Lauder, we'll take a look as well, no problem. What's up, Philip? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Thoughts on S&P? Yes, we'll take a look as well. And the market is scary. I know, especially if you're a bit of a newbie and you're just coming to the market. So maybe you're only trading for about a couple of months or a month. You know, this price action here is like, to be fair, it'll probably get you excited because you're like, wow, look at that moves. If I was trading, that would make a bunch of money. So yeah, but the market's not always like this. Not always. I mean, most of the year it's been pretty flat. So only now the market's getting excited. Anyway, completely forgot which pair I was going to take a look at. It was GA second, but gold first. So yeah, my bias on gold is still bullish. It is still bullish. Looking for a push back to the high at 24.80. I am bearish on dollar. I do see USD falling, so that kind of helps my bullish bias. So yeah, I do like the buys. I don't like the price action itself, so I'm actually not looking to trade gold, so I don't like it that much, but I am bullish for two main reasons. Market structure in the 4 hour is still bullish, and we recently just broke structure. So we had some lower lows and lower highs here. We just went and broke through that. So taking out the high there. So 4 hours now gone bullish. So I'm expecting a higher low to form like this. And the second reason why I'm bullish, which is the main reason, which is why the overall direction on the daily is still very much up. The market's still making, higher highs and higher lows here. So I would still be very much a buyer as someone looking to swing a market. So my bias is bullish. 4 hours bullish. We just broke structure to the upside. Daily, weekly, still seeing momentum to the upside as well. Weekly just had an okay close last week too. So I wouldn't really be looking for sells in these conditions at all, unless things change drastically. But given all of that, this sharp move down here threw me off a little bit because it was just very, very aggressive. It's not like gold pushed up and then we kind of correctively had a retracement. It was a big sell. So I don't like that. But I still think a higher low form at some point. As I said earlier, I think I'd wait for price to take out this low here first, push down, and then maybe look at some buys afterwards. Because I know a lot of early sellers will be looking at stop losses here, and we haven't even come into New York session yet. So I've got a feeling like New York will probably push us down anyway, and that might leave behind some nice buys. There is an area over here you can consider around 2400, which is the retest of this high, which we haven't done yet. So you might even push down, test that high, reject it, and that could be a nice little buy there. So I like gold to the upside. I really do. It's just the price action isn't that neat. I'd much rather wait for longs on euro if that can pull back, or even pound. And another thing I don't like either is that I'm pretty bearish on silver. So I don't like it when I'm bearish on silver and bullish on gold or vice versa, because they're normally very correlated. So I kind of want to expect them both to be doing the same thing. But silver had a nice rejection at this area today or yesterday. I think silver's likely going to push into this low. So I think we've still got another day's worth of bearishness for silver, which I don't know how that would react with gold. It might keep gold bearish for a little bit. Again, this is not too important. Correlation does play a big factor, but this is a whole different market at the end of the day. So it's not too important, but it's always nice if silver and gold are doing the same thing. But yeah, I'm generally still pretty bullish on gold. Okay, so we'll take a look at GA next, and then we'll go for S&P. Okay, looking for longs around the T, but okay, so you're looking to take advantage of the retracement and then buy it later. Nice. Palantir's currently in buy zone. Okay, I'll take a look at Palantir. I'm looking for buys, but a little bit deeper. But I'll go over it. Lauder. Ramp high given the dollar weakness. Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, I mean, that's a logical reason why you'd expect the market to go higher for gold. Very, very logical reason. And that's the beauty of the market. It's not always straightforward, which is why fundamentals is not always black and white as well. If that's the case, then people who trade fundamentals, who base their trading solely around fundamentals, would be very, very, very profitable. But the market, there's so many components, so many moving components in the market. Even with a really good understanding of fundamentals, it won't make you perfect. And which is why technical is important for timing as well. But yeah, for those reasons, you would expect gold to push up, but it's not doing so. I mean, general gold is up. I mean, it's still up on the week, on the month. Maybe not on the full hour, not on the day. But that could change very, very quickly this afternoon. Like I said, gold might just sell off a little bit, and that could spark some bullishness. So I think gold is still a good buy, fundamentally and technically, but maybe it has a bit more downside, a little bit more downside left before it does push up. Okay, so let me quickly go through GA. So yeah, GA, big spike to the upside off the back of Aussie weakness. And yeah, we've actually spiked through the high there as well. Craziness. This was the high I said last week. There's a good chance we're going to push into. And yeah, Monday morning, we've just gone and done that. So what is next for pound Aussie? Well, this is actually a really nice place for a sell. You can see the major highs prices put in, one over there, second over there. Yeah, I would argue this is a really nice place for a third, and this could translate into a massive drop. I'm looking for a similar thing on pound NZD as well. So it's nice to see that they're both in sync again, or at least my analysis is in sync for them. But yeah, I would be expecting something like that longer term. You see the market's been pretty bearish for a while. So if we keep up with all of these lower highs here, then I'm expecting another one to print and the market to keep falling. And yeah, it's like a great place for it as well. A nice big double top rejection. So yeah, I would be expecting market to reverse here. Again, it's a little bit difficult to call reversals, but this is a good place for it. In terms of entries and trades, that's where it becomes a little bit tricky because this is just a huge wick. You don't really want to be taking a trade here for stop loss there. How many pips is that for a stop loss? About 300 pips there. So not a lot of people will be looking to have a 300 pip stop loss. So for me, I'd wait for development in terms of, okay, we're failing at the highs, maybe form some structure, maybe a bit of consolidation, and then we start reversing and they take a retest somewhere like that. And then that could be a nice trade. That could take a while to form. That could take a few days, maybe even a couple of weeks. But that's kind of what I'll be looking at from a 4-hour perspective to find some entries like that to take a trade. And like I said, I could be wrong. Price might just actually break out as well. But I would expect price to reverse. Well, a nice area, really nice move into that. Very overextended still. So I do think we're likely going to roll over. But this is kind of what I'll be waiting for, which again may take a few days to develop. But yeah, pound Aussie, I think we're going to go for a big reversal. Okay. Okay, so S&P. So yeah, S&P again with this one again. S&P overall, you're still bullish on S&P because the market's always just been moving up. So nothing's really changed apart from okay, we're seeing a lot of bearish momentum right now. So I'll just look to keep things pretty simple. There's a lot of bearish momentum. The chances are we're probably going to see more of that. We're just cracking through a major high over there, so we didn't really use this as support at all. The chances are, even taking out this low here too, the chances are that if we do see some upside for S&P, most likely it's going to be another lower high to form and the market's going to keep dropping. These are some really nice lower highs the market's been printing. 1, 2, 3 there. A lot of momentum there to the downside. There's a brief gap here in the market. and a brief level of support there, where we did kind of consolidate for a little bit in the lower time frames before dropping bearish. If we would see a correction back to this area, I'll expect the market to continue falling. So, if this is the low, and then we pull back from here, maybe this afternoon, then we get there tomorrow or Wednesday, that could be a nice sell at some point this week, and just looking for the same to continue. So longer term for S&P, expecting a higher low to form in at some point. I've marked this area there, which is where we could get to, but it's still very, very far away from that. And even before that, we've got this low to contend with. So there's some big levels for the S&P down, which I think we can go and hit. But for now, we're just looking to stay in tune with that momentum. So yeah, pullbacks, just looking to short really. Pullbacks and looking to short. So that's kind of my bias with S&P. And then when we start getting to some of these areas, we can start, maybe looking for some buys or yeah, something like that. Or at least stop looking for sales anyway. But yeah, for now, I'm expecting more downside for S&P. That's the same thing I have for the NAS as well. Correction, continuation. Major high over there. I think we're probably going to get there. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the S&P 500. I'll take a look at pound NZD next. Okay, looking at buys as well, Rick. Don't worry, I'm getting better at reading typos, domestic forex. I've been streaming for so long, reading comments out. I can read over the typos and fill in the blanks. Anyway, we'll take a look at pound NZD. So yeah, I said I was looking for buys here, but further down. So longer term, I'm still pretty bearish on pound NZD and pound Aussie. I do think we're going to get big sells, but again, that's more like the weekly, monthly charts, and that'll take some time. It's not going to just sell off. Actually, I was going to say I don't expect to sell off in one go, but then that's what the yen pairs are doing. So maybe it does happen. I don't know, but pound NZD and pound Aussie are more corrective pairs than the yen pairs anyway, so they'll take some time. But yeah, with pound NZD, I said I'm looking for buys at 2.125, which is this area here. You said you're looking for longs now. Yeah, I'm not too much of a fan of that, although you had a lovely move up, and this could be a correction of that. I just like for us to push a little bit further down, and I don't like the fact we left a big wick here to the upside as well. It's like the market tried to push bullish, but failed miserably. So yeah, I don't like that. The fact that we formed that big wick tells me we're probably likely to take that low, and that would be great because we'll be very close to that low at that point, and maybe some stop losses underneath that low will be liquidated, and that could help me out with some buys. So yeah, I really like this low here at 2.125. But even that, I don't expect the buys to last too long because I think that's going to be the bigger move. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound and ZD. I like the buys, but just a little bit lower. Looking very clean because as if the market is not frustrating you just saying. Yeah, I mean, the market's the market, Lord. The market is the market. Yeah, don't want to get too attached to it because it can be very stressful. I think you just have to look at the market as a tool, as a canvas, and you're the artist. You paint the pictures. Because if you're not the one painting the pictures, then the market's going to be painting you. That's a really weird analogy, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Because the markets are crazy. They'll move crazy, make crazy moves, and it's very easy to be wrapped up and get emotional inside of that bubble. But it's very, very important you stay outside of that bubble. and realize that the markets is its own world, and you're just kind of just there just to take your opportunity. You take a trade, win, lose, or draw, you walk away. Yeah, because if you get too attached to it, it can really, really be very, very stressful and way heavy on the mind. And yeah, I mean, it's a very unforgiving business, very unforgiving. Yeah, people lose life savings here, and at the same time, they double their life savings as well. And no problematic Forex, happy to help. Which is why I like the markets as well. It's such an unforgiving and rewarding place. Like you can do very well, and at the same time, you could mess up your life really. You could have a decent life savings. You've been saving for a while, and then you got a bit too greedy. You put that into an account, and you lost it. Yeah, that can happen too. Which is why risk is always number one. Risk is always number one. Make sure your risk is in check. You know how much you want to risk. You know how much you're willing to lose. If you put 10K into a trading account, how much of that 10K are you willing to lose? Are you willing to lose the whole 10K, or just half or 30%? Make that decision before you put it into the account. So if I put 10K into account, I know I'm going to lose maximum 5K. I'm happy with that. If that happens, I'm not on the streets. I know, yeah, that's a possibility that might happen. I'm happy with that. Then you can trade knowing that, okay, that 5K might go. And at the same time, you have to make sure you're not losing that 5K in one day either. It's not like, okay, I'm happy to lose the 5K today. If you're going to lose the 5K, try and make it last a whole year. And then that's how you can calculate your position size, how much you want to risk per trade, 2%, 1%, 0.5%, or whatever percent. And you can work your way back from there. Okay, so in terms of my trading this week, it's pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty straightforward this week. Yen pairs, I'm not gonna discriminate. I don't think there's, yeah, I think all yen pairs just look equally as good, just because there's just so much momentum. So any yen pair that looks decent in the pullback, I'm looking to short. CHF pairs, quite a few of them are at the all-time low, so I don't really like that. Apart from pound CHF, I think CAD CHF all-time low. Yep. Euro CHF all-time low, Aussie CHF all-time. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Okay, I actually do like Aussie CHF. I thought it was all-time low. It's not. So if it does pull back, I mean, there's a very high chance that we take out this all-time low at, probably this week. So, okay, Aussie CHF, I like you. And then New Zealand CHF, yeah, all-time low. So Aussie CHF, looking for pullbacks for this one. I generally thought we were at all-time low, so I wasn't interested, but we're not. So if this one can pull back, that'd be fantastic. I'll take some shorts on the retest of this area here. I mean, that would be best case scenario, but we'll see. Pound CHF, looking to take some shorts there as well, back to that low. Yen pairs, like I said, looking for pullbacks. Euro, looking for a pullback for this one into some of these areas for some buys. That's kind of where I'm at. Pound USD, I like, but it's got a lot of work to do before I'm interested. Not really looking to do much with Aussie dollar or New Zealand dollar. It's moving a little bit hectic right now. Gold, I'm not really interested in. Silver, not really. Not really looking at any of the CAD pairs for now. And yeah, these crosses. I like pound NZD buys. And that's about it, really. But yeah, in terms of the CHF, in terms of the yen, it's just pull back short, pull back short. And yeah, let the market do all the heavy work, heavy lifting. So you see if I can find a decent pullback. And like I said, I'll be a bit more aggressive with the trade this week. So I'm not gonna try and wait for a decent pullback like I normally do, because just the conditions aren't there for it. So yeah, if I see some nice opportunities, a bit more of a shallow pullback, I will go for it. Um, it makes sense in these conditions. I don't do that all the time, but when it's conditions like this, it makes sense to do so. And if not, if I get stopped out and it does pull back a little bit higher, yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world because it might mean I get a better entry and a better risk reward. And if things go well, I can make back the loss plus some more. So I'm not too worried about that either. Only doesn't make sense when you're taking shallow pullbacks in corrective environments. If the market is very corrective, not moving well, it doesn't make sense to take a shallow pullback. But here it does make a load of sense. %, Antonio. A beautiful day ahead, beautiful week ahead. I haven't actually checked the news for this week. Rate decision tomorrow. Oh, do we? I was just saying I haven't checked the news for this week, and then we've got another interest rate decision. Okay, for the rest of the day, not too much. We've got a bit of PMI for dollar at 245 and 3 o'clock. So that's about it for USD. Yes, we do. I'll just hit the mic there. Apologies. We've got the RBA interest rate decision. Aussie dollar rates expected to stay the same. That's at 5:30 in the morning for UK. So that'll be interesting. Swiss unemployment rate, that'll be interesting as well. Retail sales for pound in euro. PMI for CAD. Unemployment rate for NZD. Okay, there's a bit of news this week, especially Aussie New Zealand dollar. Yeah, it's not anything crazy, but yeah, the RBA interest rate that can move the market. Aussie does make some big moves normally, so that'll be interesting. But I don't really have any Aussie pairs on my watch list, maybe apart from like Aussie CHF and Aussie yen. But I need to see some pullbacks first. I don't think I'll get the pullback today anyway, so yeah, it shouldn't be of my concern. Gold is on a massive sell-off. Are we tanking on gold? Let me get rid of my drawings for a second. Oh, yeah, we're seeing some downside. So this could be a nice buy now. Now that the market is seeing some downside, taking up the lows here. I was just saying on that these lows are likely to go, and now they've actually gone. But I was expecting that to happen a little bit closer to New York time, probably another hour's time. But looks like gold's excited for some reason. Is dollar seeing some upside? Not really. But yeah, gold's looking pretty bearish. But this could be a nice time to buy gold. I said coming back to retest the high there, after sweeping these lows here, this could be a nice little buy there. But of course, want to see some rejection. If we continue to sell hard, then probably not. And yeah, I'm pretty bearish on silver though. That's the only thing I don't like. I'm bearish on silver and I'm bullish on gold. I don't like that indifference there. I want to be the same bias on both of them. But I do think silver is likely to drop to this low here. So probably going to keep falling to that level. Then maybe silver might bounce. We will see. But I think for the time being, silver is going to keep dropping. And then we can look at some buys from this area. Maybe if silver does have a pullback, then you might find some nice opportunities on the hourly. Something like that. And a retest of this area could be a nice little sell in the meantime if silver's kind enough to pull back. Not too sure if it will, but that could be a nice little sell in the meantime. And some buys from 26.5. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold and silver. And we have come up to the end of the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys have found the stream very useful and enjoyed it, found it entertaining, informative, learned something. If that's the case, please be sure to drop a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out, and make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. We'll be live again tomorrow, same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time every day this week. So be there or be square. Check out the Discord channel. It is linked at the top of the chat. You cannot miss that. Again, free discussions, talk about trading opportunities, share ideas there. I'm there as well. Discount opportunities when we launch later on. So all the good stuff is there. Make sure you go check it out. But guys, I really do appreciate everyone on the stream helping out. Thank you to my moderators as well and everyone else too. Like I said, I will be live again tomorrow. So I will see you there. But till then, take care. Don't blow any accounts. And I'll catch you on the flip side.